how they align, what character to go through the verses. So you're going to go through them because we are short of time. And I wanted us to go now focus a little more on visioning that particular future we want. We have to be very intentional. I'll ask you to take a moment to actually think about what you really expect to learn as you live today. You have a notebook. Emma, what materials do we have for people to write on? The brown paper. Okay. So I want you to think of what do you really expect to get out of here today as we depart? What would you like to learn? Focus on the last 1 year, what you really want, desire as a career. Today was supposed to be a career talk. So around that particular area, career talk and being a distinct person, what will be your expectation by the end of today? Just write 2 expectations you have for today. Think of 2 expectations. The enough writing. Okay, have you written your expectations? 2 expectations, just write 2 expectations. So you can take me now to the slide. I hope it doesn't get distorted. All right. So my key slide here is actually the future that I want. Normally we say we have to be very, we get the life we want. You will get the life you want. If you are purposed to get that particular life, nobody will be able to give you what you want. You have to be able to drive to that. When you start off as a child, your parents have a dream for you. And they normally choose which schools you go to, where you're going to study, so that you can become the person they want you to become. But then there comes a time that you have to take this into your hands. You discover yourself, and then you decide this is the life I want. And so you can design that particular life and actually get to it. And that's why we normally say, I start with a dream. How do I want my life to be? All the time you have had your parents, you have had your teachers, you have had the society, you have had the community telling you what it is that they want you to be. They tell you because you're very intelligent, you'll become a doctor. I want you to do computer science. I want you to do agriculture. I want you to do, they tell you what it is that they want. They take you to the schools, and probably the best schools, so that you can get the best education for you to become the person they want you to be. At what point do you realize you want to be you? Shiko, when did you realize you want to be you? Have you realized you want to be you?
Okay. Should I phrase it according to career-wise?
Yeah, anything. anything, career-wise, or even the person that you want. You know the person you want to be. Don't separate really career from the person you want to be. Don't separate the two.
I don't separate them.
Yeah.
So, I'll say, like, from my likes and preferences, maybe someone can expect something from you, but you really don't feel it in your heart. Like, also coming to choose a course in campus, I got to it by realizing that that subject, I liked one particular subject in high school. So I decided I was going to also pursue that in high school. So I decided to be me through what I like most, what you feel comfortable in doing. Yeah,
Okay.
that's a short of putting it.
All right. Who else would like to share with us? I don't know most people's names, so I'll struggle. So I'll be calling the names that I know. So when you talk, you introduce yourself, yeah? Yeah, you tell us your name. So the lady next to you, I don't know her name.
Hiya, my name is Eunice. My expectation today is that my future God will give me what He desire, but not according to what I want, and to have a beautiful life that will have no troubles, so that I can be able to fulfill the wishes that I desire to the other people, and also to continue with what God have granted me to do.
Okay. You want to share with us? In green. And you tell us your name.
I'm Diana. So, about expectation or
You can tell us expectation and when you realized you're you.
okay. I realized that I want. My expectation today is that I desire to be that which God wants me to be, and I realized that I could be myself. I think it was this year when I started following my goals and working to achieve my career.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Momo.
For me, the moment I discovered I wanted to be myself, I was in campus, I was doing psychology. Okay, I did it because I wanted to. But now after I finished campus, I did not want to follow it up for one reason or another. I didn't feel like when I sat with someone in a room, they tell me their problems, that's what I really wanted to do. I wanted to understand myself. That's why I did psychology. And out of that, maybe help somebody. But I discovered that was not entirely what I wanted. So I decided to take another path after I finished campus, not to go to the counseling room, but to go to the mission field. That's what I really wanted, and to use psychology in that context. Yeah.
All right. So one thing is that Momo is passionate about missions, and then he got equipped as a psychologist, right? So he's using the skills he learned to do that which he's passionate about and also aligns to his purpose and his calling, right? So he wants to make sure that lives are reached out there. He has the competencies and the skills to help him do that which aligns itself to God's purpose. So the question I really want to ask you to really ask yourself is that, have you discovered that the person you want to be? You know, as I said, your parents had the dream for you. And from childhood, they make sure they are equipping you for that which they want you to become. Usually, they don't define your career for you, right? They just know that for you to become a person and to be able to manage your life and to be able to be a transformative leader, then you need to be equipped with good education, right? So they make that provision, then they make the connections and etc. But then there comes a time you have to realize, I've been provided these opportunities. Who do I want to become? What change do I want to see happen in my life? How do I equip myself? I've been equipped by my parents. They have made that particular provision. Some of us don't get that opportunity, but we still get equipped. What are we equipped for? I don't remember your name next to Kevin. Does he have a mic near? You can share your mic with him. You can tell us your name. So when you were sharing, you said there's what you want to become, right? What was that?
God is good all the time.
Amen.
Timothy Rapando. I've always had a passion of being a journalist, but a lot of things underway have been trying to derail me. A lot of challenges here and there. But I can proudly stand firm and say that I think I'm halfway there, even though at the moment it seems like I'm not yet there, but deep inside I know I'm heading there. Why am I saying this? I have passion in media, and one of the things I'm doing right now, I'm new here. In my church, I'm a CD secretary and a Sunday school teacher. And one of the things I'm doing, like right now, it's heading to Christmas. I've written a script. I can write. I've written a script that I want those kids to perform during the 25th. So through that, I think I'll be getting somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I also like that you said you do some sales work, right?
Sure.
All right. So what he shared with us is that he would like to be a journalist, but funding to become a journalist can be a challenge. So what he's doing is that he's doing sales so that he can be able to save sufficiently to fund his own education. But towards that particular dream of becoming a journalist, he's doing things like in church, writing scripts. So you still equip yourself for what you want to be. But get to know, this is what I want to be. What are the obstacles? What are the things that can hinder me from becoming that particular person? What can I be able to start doing now? Because you have the ability and the capabilities. Remember that when God created you, he created you complete. That's what Psalms 139 says. You are complete. You have everything it takes to be successful and to become the person you want to be. That's how God created you. You know, when he put man and woman in the Garden of Eden, he knew that they'll be sufficiently catered for. And that's what he tells us in his word. You know, he knew you before you were formed. He knew the life that he wanted you to have. And he knew the purpose he wanted you to serve and the things that you're going to do. So most of the time we become our own limitations to what we can be able to do. We have to overcome that and believe in yourself. If I have that dream, then I evaluate, where am I at right now? So we normally start with a dream. So what dream do I have? What's the vision I have for myself? I normally give this example. And maybe it's not a very nice example, but it's still a good example. Think, how many of us have been to a funeral? How many of us have been to a funeral? How many of us read the eulogy? Yeah, that's the first thing we always look at, right? And who writes the eulogy? Mumo, who writes the eulogy? The family writes the eulogy, right? What do you think about that? The family writing your eulogy? Who do you think should write the eulogy? Shiko, Who should write the eulogy when someone passes on? Who thinks the family should write the eulogy? How many of us think the family should write the eulogy of the person who is in the casket? Just put up your hand high up if you think the family should write. Put up your hand straight so that I see with which people don't think the family should write. I want to know who should write. Put up your hand. Who should write the eulogy?
Hi everyone, I'm Esther, and I apologize, I have a flu. So about the eulogy, I think it's the person, because the person knows themselves better. They know what they have accomplished, and they're the ones who have fought through their life. That's my opinion.
Thank you. How many people think the person in the casket should write the eulogy? The person in the casket should write the eulogy, not your family. How do you write your eulogy? So today you're going to write your eulogy, right? You know, when you're there, you want people to say what you want them to say about you. You don't want them to say the things they think about you. You want them to write the things you want them to say about you. And if you want them to say those things about you, you have to do something about it now, when you're alive. Okay? So right now you say, like, when I am in that particular casket, this is what I want people to say about me. That I made a difference. I preached the word of God. I was the governor. I was the president. And as a president, what did I do? Then if that's what I want them to say, then what should I do now? It guides what you're going to do. Just think, if you are not dead, maybe when you're 50, and you live to be 80, and your great-grandchildren are coming to see you, what do you want them to say about you? That's starting with the end in mind. And that's what visioning is all about. Don't allow someone to write your story for you. Because when they write the story, they say the things they want to say, and then they determine your life. You have to be able to tell your story. What is your story? So I start doing things right now. So I want to be that great journalist. Yeah? What difference do I want to make as a journalist? I want to probably use my journalism to actually make sure that the word of God is preached or lives are transformed. I look at communities where things are perishing. I look at the environment. I want to make sure that the environment is clean and everyone is responsible. So I want to make sure that if I look at Kiambio is transformed. It is not a slum, but it's a different kind of an estate. What are the problems that I see that I can address as a journalist? And I want to make sure that this particular happens. Mary, if I enter into the hotel industry, what is it that I really want to see changed, right? At the end of the day, what is it that I want people to see I have made a difference in that particular industry, but still aligned that people will come to God and will desire to serve God, right? So then what do I do right now? So I evaluate. So you start with the dream at the end, but then you go back to the beginning and ask, where am I right now? What am I doing? If I'm a student, I'm equipping myself. So I'm getting this knowledge. So first you get knowledge. Then you get the skills that you're able to use that particular knowledge to do something. Then you get the competencies that are required for you to be successful. You're able to communicate. You're able to relate with others. You're able to understand yourself. How people affect you, how people make you feel about yourself, how you make people feel about themselves. You're able to identify with others and with situations. You're able to see issues in your community and be able to address them. and you're able to keep yourself self-motivated to keep moving on. And each time that you're doing this, you are reflecting on what it is that you are becoming. So like reflecting from last year, what has Mohoro become? In 2022, he's become a husband and a provider, right? That's what he has become in 2022. So he is self-motivated to make sure that his family is provided, and he's creating the kind of space he wants his future children to grow in. Yeah? And he's also motivated to make sure that the wife he got is supportive and is in line with the vision that he has. So he also becomes a preacher in the house. So what have I become? Where am I right now? Towards my dream, towards becoming the person that I want to become. But what have I become right now? What am I right now? How can you specifically say that you are right now? And that is with the abilities that you have. What have you been able to do? Right now, Timothy, you may be a salesperson, right? This year, you're a salesperson, yeah? But are you still working towards becoming a journalist, right? So what part of your life is journalists? Okay? So think about that. So you set now the new goals. What have I become in the last 1 year? Where am I at? Am I still a student? What do I really have to do to equip myself for the world of work? At what stage of schooling am I at? For those of us who are in school, am I in my first year, my second year, my third year? Am I graduating this year? Have I made the right connections if I'm in my last year? Am I getting a job? Do I have sufficient experience to get me into the job? Who do I need to know? Who do I need to connect with along the way? And then let's set our 2023 goals. So what you will start by defining who the person you have become right now, what with the abilities that you have. So we'll distribute some charts for you to actually just at the bottom there, what is the person that you have become right now? And at the top, what is the person that you want to become? So what are the key goals that I set? Don't set too many goals. You set a social goal, a career goal, a spiritual goal for 2023. We will then profile ourselves. So are you able to click on the e-portfolio? Is it Sam or Steve? Do you have access to internet? You may have to quit from the presentation and see whether you can get to the e-portfolio. So I hope you're taking notes. What I want you to do is actually write your vision. We said it's practically what it is that you want people to say about you, your story, right? We called it the eulogy. But you can say, this is what I want people to say about me. What is my legacy? What will I leave behind? Yeah, that is the top theme for you today. So if you have that particular top theme, this is what I want people to say about me, then at the bottom of that paper is evaluating where you are at, the person you have become. What are you right now? Justine, you've done a lot in the last 1 year towards your dream, yeah? And I want to appreciate that, yeah? When we talked last year, you wanted to actually record your music, but you were not singing. Yeah? So the 1 year you have invested in making sure that your voice is out there, you're confident, and you're building your confidence, right? So in the next, that's where you are at right now. Yeah? You become a confident singer. Yeah? So what is it that you want to see happen in 2023? So it's always one step at a time. Okay? So an e-portfolio, so you've evaluated the person you have become right now. But that person that you have become requires evidence that you are that person, yeah? It's on this screen, yeah? All right. I can also see it over here. So, like the person you have become requires evidence. Do you normally gather evidence? Do you gather evidence? Who is in their final year? Kevin, are you almost graduating? Not yet. You're in your second year? Okay. Who is almost graduating? You're almost graduating, right? Do you have a portfolio? Okay. Even if you're in first year, Emmanuel, do you have a portfolio? Okay. Now, the biggest challenge we have? How many of us, Mohoro, you can tell us that it's difficult to get a job, right? You finished your training and you actually ended up being in business. It's not something you had planned, right? It's something that just happened. Some things just happen. Yeah? You find yourself in one level. Mumo, did you planned your path, yeah, in your second year, right? Or it just happened? Tony, did you plan your path to where you are right now? It just happened, okay? Mark, I didn't want Mark very far because I wanted to use him as a reference point. Maybe he needs a mic up there. Are you working? In pink. You're a student, right? You're a student. All of you. You're all students, right? Mark, you tell us. Last year you had not graduated, you graduated. This year you have a job. Did you plan all that? Or things just happened?
Well, I had the vision for it, and I'm grateful to God that at least things are going the way I had thought they would go.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you had a vision.
Yeah.
That's a plan.
Mm.
Yeah? When you have a vision, then that means there's something to commit to God, right? And when you have that particular vision, also what it means is that God has put the thought in your mind. Okay? So you pray about it, you commit it to God because He's put the thought in your mind. And when you put it into practice, when you don't sit on it, then God makes it happen. Okay? But you have to also be committed to the service of God because He makes things work out for you. But you have to have a vision. Without a plan, any road will take you wherever it is they want to take you. And anybody will dictate the story that they have. Yeah? So that's why it's important to have a vision, have that particular dream. And then stay focused on it and equip yourself for it. But also allow yourself, sometimes God changes things and your thinking because of what the experiences you're going through. So sometimes you have this particular great plan, probably is your own thinking, but God has a different path for you. So you also appreciate the path you are at, but keep evaluating it. So I was coming now to the portfolio. Everybody needs a portfolio, evidence. So what have you become? But what evidence do you have of that becoming? We are a new generation. Normally, I'm called a digital immigrant, right? My generation. I'm a digital immigrant. But you're digital citizens, right? And then Gadiel, they are the indigenous digitals, yeah? What does that mean, being a digital citizen? That your life is actually digital, right? technology, you have no choice. But you have to exist in that space. So how do we exist in that space? For me, our portfolios used to come in big folders, you know box file. Yeah? Unachukua certificate, unaifile. Yeah? Unapigwa picha, unaiprint, unaiweka kwa file. Yeah? But today, people don't carry their big portfolio, so you go into an interview room and you tell them, click onto my portfolio and see the person that I have become. So I have a portfolio there. Lucy is one of my students. And, Lucy's portfolio, she talks about who she is becoming. She's in communication. So she has her homepage. And then you can see on her portfolio, she has About, which is basically her resume. If you go to the link on About, so she has a picture of herself, and she's basically one of my trainers. Yeah? So she talks about herself, and that page is all about her CV. What is the things that she has done? Okay, that one has gone off. So she'll talk about herself. She'll talk about, just scroll down. She'll talk about the clients that she has served. And Lucy is still a student, yeah? She's a student until the end of this year. But there are things that she engages in as a student. For the last 1 year, she has been an intern in my office, engaged in a lot of things. So what are you engaging about? What competencies are you building? What experiences are you building? Then you have to define what your expertise is. So the next tab, after About, the CV basically is about your education, your experience, and all that. Then you have her expertise. It is the next tab. The expertise. So she shows the things that she has done. What have you been practicing? Yeah. Then you have to provide evidence for that. Then there's another thing that she does over there. There's community service. Community service is anything you do, like when you serve in the youth service, when you're serving in a club, and etc. are the things that you do. And for that, you also provide evidence. You provide pictures with reflections of what you're doing in the picture. If you have a certificate, then you also show off the certificates that you have. So your portfolio is a collection of the evidence of the things that show that you have become the person you're saying you need to be. So if you're a student, open your portfolio. You can use Google Sites. It's the simplest. Since I'm not a very tech person, so I have introduced people to the Google Sites. So do your portfolio. If you're a student, you have just started university, you are just finishing high school, whatever it is, start collecting evidence. What this helps you with is also to evaluate the person that you have become. So I'm serving in the youth service. I'm coordinating activities. I become a leader. I influence. So I have become a leader. I have influence when I'm telling people, do ABCD. So those are the competencies that you're building. You see, competencies is not what you learn in classroom. It's what you learn by doing. So you're leading the service over here. Then that is the one thing that you have. You need a picture mark, leading the service, right? You are a leader in that particular moment, and you're influencing people. So you're showing your leadership abilities in your portfolio. When people in the office are looking for someone to lead them to do a function, then they go like, I saw in Mark's portfolio that he can actually be an MC, right? He knows how to organize a function until it comes to the end. You put that in your portfolio. Even if it happens just once, yeah? Put it in your portfolio. Because it allows you to think, oh, you mean I'm a leader? Yeah? Jackie has gone. Yeah? She was a leader this morning. So collect anything that helps you to evaluate the person you have become. Right now, most people are not remembering the many things they did from last year. Yeah? They just pass, but those things make you. And those are the things you bring to the table when someone is asking, what experience do you have? Shuko, you're graduating. They'll ask, what experience do you have? Then you are not remembering. You actually lead praise and worship in church, right? And there you're facing people courageously, right? That courage is what people are looking for, yeah? And that's something you can take to an interview. When people ask about yourself, tell me about yourself. You see, I can confidently stand in front of people and do ABCD. Check out my portfolio, right? So you have a video of you singing, Justine, yeah? Right? So those are the things that you collect. They look so small, but they're the things that make people get big jobs. So build your profile. Make sure that you have a collection of artifacts and things that you can reflect on and say, this is the person I have become. So if you go back to maybe to the slides, so you'll need a LinkedIn profile. The CV, you have to make sure that you have it. Start building your CV, and you can build it in your portfolio or your LinkedIn profile. Have your LinkedIn profile. And those are the things that help you evaluate. Like if you have a LinkedIn, keep going back to it and looking, is it really talking about the person I am? So today, because we want to make sure that you go away with something, we're going to do an action plan for 2023. So I'll ask Emma and maybe Mary to help me distribute the papers to make our vision board, so that we'll just use like 20 minutes to do that, then we come to a conclusion. So what you're going to do, with this particular whatever, you're going to evaluate where you are right now. So I don't know whether we have enough markers, but we can also use the pens if you have pens. So you just select a section for yourself on the wall. I think we have a masking tape. Oh, just one per person. So what you're going to do, maybe I can fix one on the wall. Mark, would you help me fix one on the wall to demonstrate? Oh, you have. Okay. I have the assistants, the people who are standing and went through this last year. They'll come around and help you do the vision board. All right? So what we're going to do is that you'll have your vision up here. And then at the bottom over here, you're looking at the person you have become. What you are right now, what you think you have become in the last 1 year, who is that particular person? And then you're going to say what it is that you want to achieve by 2023. You'll set your goals. Yeah? You'll have your goals for 2023. And then with these goals, identify some strategies. To achieve the goals. Okay? Are we good? So I think that one we can be able to do in the next 15 minutes. Evaluate the person you have become, be able to be articulate, the things you can be able to do right now. So markers. So we are going to work in kind of groups. How many groups do you want us to have? Okay. And then so we are going to work in groups. I don't know how many we are. Maybe two people? Do you think two people can use one pen? So you're going to, let's start off. So you write the person you have become, identify the key competencies you think you have right now, yeah? Or some traits. Have you become a leader? Have you become a musician? What is it that you feel you can be able to do right now? What have you become? Yeah? Then what do you want to see yourself becoming in 2023? So those will be the goal, the target for 2023. What key competencies do you think you need to build between now and 2023? So that when we mix next year, what will I say I have become? Then what strategies do I need to put in place for me to become that particular person? Then with these strategies, then what evidence do I need to keep collecting along the way? So I think we'll work in twos so that we can support each other. I think two are better than one. Tunde Manu? Yeah. Two are better than one. Let's work in twos. I think we'll get enough pens for us to work between two of us. So that particular person you're going to work with, let them help you really to evaluate. If you can get someone who knows you and who has been with you in the last 1 year, well and good. If you don't get that particular person, still, with the person that you have, try to share as much as possible what you have done, and then they can help you get the words for you to articulate the person you have become. Then you test your goals with them. Do you think this is achievable? And make sure that it's achievable. When you set a goal that you can be able to achieve, it motivates you. Okay? All right, then we can start off. Do you have pens between two people? Okay, I may have more pens somewhere. Oh, yes. Yeah. Yeah? Yes. So I want you to choose a corner where you can paste up. We have masking tape, right? Okay. Let me know who doesn't have a pen, then we can make sure that the two people must have a marker pen. I have one here. Yeah. I had a small bag up there. Inside the last zip over there, there are more pens inside. Mary, you did this last year. So I'll want you to walk around, yeah? And help. Emmanuel, you remember what you did last year? Are you able to assist somebody? But you'll be working with her, right? Okay. Yeah. So select your corner, a place where you can be able to paste your masking tape. Then we'll walk around and assist. At least you have your vision board for now. I would really like to do a new portfolio, particularly with those people who are almost finishing.